So continuing on with increasing your referrals and tripling and quadrupling your referrals. One of the things that you need to do is you've heard me talk about this referral consciousness. And here's what a referral consciousness means. It means that you're eating and breathing and you're speaking and you're living referrals all the time. That you're literally, if you yourself as a salesperson or as a relationship marketer, as a direct seller, if you have a team, if you have a culture, if you have an office, you want everything to be about your culture, about asking for referrals. Literally, that I'll assume that you're the head of your organization, could be an organization of one, but that you literally have a plan for developing referrals, that you actually write a plan down and you have, on a daily basis, your steps for getting referrals are, to ask all people who say no, to ask all people who buy, to ask all people who I interact with for a referral. And of course, we'll talk about how to ask for that referral the proper way. But you want to you want to eat and breathe and speak. I are a professional speaker and have a referral consciousness. If you want tons of referrals, then you have to talk about referrals. You have to speak to your team or your people about asking for referrals. You have to tell stories about how you asked for referrals and you got them. If you have an organization or a sales team that you are in charge of, you've got to be leading the charge, if you will. The fish stinks from the head down. So the head of the organization, even if you're an organization of one, you need to be having a referral consciousness that is constantly saying that I want referrals. I need referrals. We want your business. You see, a lot of your customers, a lot of your clients, and certainly your brand new prospects, they do not know that you need or want the referral business. And if you want to find the 30%, you actually have to ask. Your prospects and your clients cannot read your mind. If you're doing a great job for your client and your client is happy with the product, the service that you're giving, it may not even cross their mind that you are in need of them to be a marketing source for you. It may not even cross their mind that you would like them to think of their friends, their relatives, their neighbors, their work associates as someone that they could refer to you. If you ask them and you put that into their consciousness, if they know that you're looking for it, believe me, what you focus on grows, what you focus on expands. So if you want to have your salespeople or the people in your organization to be getting tons of referrals, getting lots of referral business, then what you want to do is you want to be focusing and talking about and living and breathing and eating referrals like crazy. On your PSs, on your letters, on your voicemail, your email signature, you want to constantly let people know that you need and you want and will appreciate their referrals. My good friend Bill down in Norwalk is a realtor, and on his card, he says, on his business card, he says, thank you for your referrals and your continued support. His PSs on his letters say, your referrals are always appreciated. At the end of his voicemail, he says, hi, you've reached Bill. I'm from XYZ Real Estate. And again, thanks for calling and thank you for your referrals and your continued support. So every time you call this guy or you look at his business card or you get a communication from him on his email signature says your referrals are needed and appreciated. Thank you for your continued support. This doesn't cost you anything to add these taglines to your communication with your prospects and your clients. But it is a mentality. It is a consciousness, if you will, it's a way of being that you're saying to yourself and to all of the people around you, including your employees including everyone that you come into contact with, and that you understand that they can lead you to the next person who would want to have an appointment with you, would want to have a presentation, would want the information about your product, your service, your company, or your opportunity. A referral consciousness means that you are focused on referrals. It does not mean that every fifth time you're in front of a prospect that you are asking for a referral because you thought about it. I remember a story one of the old trainers taught, and I actually adopted the story to use it myself. And I used to say to people, I would say when I would finish my presentation, I would say, there's one kind of a glitch that I have in my sales process, and it's something I've been working on, and I was wondering if you could help me out. And they would say, what's that? And I'd say, well, one of the things I do is after I make a sale and I get a customer who is excited to buy and get delivery, many times I leave and I forget to ask them about referrals to the people that are next door to them, or their family members who might need our product or service. And what I've done is I've actually asked my son. My son is 6 years old, and I've actually taught him that when I walk in the door tonight, when I come back from this appointment of visiting you and your family tonight, my 6-year-old, if he's up when I get home, is going to say, "Hey, Dad, did you ask for any referrals?" And so if I forget to ask for referrals, what I tell him, he gets a chance to, he gets a piggyback ride, or I'll play with him for a few minutes if I forget to ask for referrals. It's not a horrible punishment, but it does remind me to ask for referrals. So before I leave tonight, do me a favor. Don't let me face my son when I go home tonight without asking you. I noticed there's a yellow house as I pulled into your driveway on the left-hand side, and I noticed that there was a blue house that I think was on the right-hand side. And when we get your water cleaned up and get everything straightened out with your water, remind me if you would, so that when I go home and I talk to my son and he says, "Hey, Dad, did you get any referrals?" that I can say at least I mentioned this to the folks and ask them. That's having a referral story. If you're not asking for referrals, if you're not remembering to do it, then come up with a referral story that you'll actually mention. You could say, when I get back to my office, I've asked my admin person to say, "Hey, did you ask for referrals?" And if I don't do it, then I have to buy her a sandwich, or I've got to buy lunch for the office. So please remind me. I've got to ask you for some referrals before I leave today. Asking for referrals is really, literally, again, the reason that you don't ask for them is if you've asked 10 people for referrals, and if you asked poorly, it's possible that 10 people didn't give you referrals. I have many salespeople who say to me, "Well, people don't give referrals in our business. It's just not the kind of business that they want to refer to their friends, their relatives, their neighbors. They certainly don't want their competitors to know about us." And so they don't give referrals. You can't get referrals from people in our industry. Actually, I'm here to tell you that you can. You absolutely can get referrals from everybody that you interact with. You have a belief system that because you've asked a couple of the 70% for referrals and they've said no, and by the way, you probably didn't ask them the correct way, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes. Your belief system is that people don't give referrals. Well, I'm here to tell you that people that expect to get referrals do get referrals. I ask for them all the time and get them every single day. I'm adding new people to my prospect list as a result of asking for referrals. Here is as you know, I'm very famous for giving you the actual words and the verbiage to actually say to people. And this is a great one. And by the way, you can incorporate some of this verbiage on a business card, in your PS signature, on your in your auto signature, in your email. And one of the ways that you can say this when you have finished your presentation, again, notice that you do not have to have them signed on the dotted line. That actually, if for some reason the sale doesn't go through, it gets canceled, or they just don't buy at all, if you've at least asked questions like this, perhaps the one thing that you'll get out of the sale is at least a referral to someone else. Sometimes it's a very valuable thing to get. So what I would say to the customer when I finish my presentation, I would say, Mr. or Ms. Prospect, a lot of times my clients, like you, people that are going to be doing business with me, or even if you've done business with me and say you're there to review, say their policies or whatever, and say, listen, I really appreciate, let me start again. Many times my clients like you, clients really appreciate what I've done for them. And sometimes what they do is they actually like to keep me to themselves, which I really appreciate. It's a really, it's a flattering thing when people say, geez, you do such a great job for us. I literally, we love what you do for us. We don't want to share you with anybody. But I have to tell you that being the best kept secret in financial services, or in the relationship marketing business, or in the public adjusters business, or in the title insurance business, being the best kept secret in our industry isn't really a great way to make a living. So could I ask you a favor? Please don't keep me all to yourself. If in fact you come across someone who has a need for our product, our service, a problem, an issue, a pain, please do me a favor. Don't keep me a secret. Please let the secret out and let some people know about what I do. If it should ever come up that a person might need help with their protecting their family, having a good title insurance company, if an emergency happens and they need to deal with an insurance company and they need a public adjuster, something of that. I'm just throwing out a couple of some of my clients. Please don't keep me a secret. This is a great thing to say on the bottom of your business cards. It is a great place to, it's kind of a version of, thank you for your referrals and your continued support. We had a dentist that actually used this and made a little sign, and it said, please don't keep us a secret. Tell people about us, or tell your friends and family about us. It's a little kind of a subliminal, if you will, message that can be very effective. You've now put it in a person's head to not keep you a secret. Again, if you say to someone, do you know anyone who would need my product or service? Generally, a person will say, no, I don't know anyone who needs that. But if you'll give me your cards, if I find someone that does, I would certainly give them your card. I like you. I'm going to be happy when I get delivery of your product or service. I'm excited about it. I am happy to refer you to people when I find the need. So this is a kind of a little, not a very direct, kind of a off to the side kind of a way to ask for the referral. Say, please don't keep us a secret, and just kind of leave it there without actually directly asking the person for the referral. Another thing that you can do, and one of the reasons that people don't give you referrals is that they don't know who you're looking for. And when you say that you're looking for someone who wants to buy insurance, or if you say, I'm looking for someone who is looking for a business opportunity, or I'm looking for someone who wants to make an extra $500 a month, or I'm looking for someone that wants to put a retirement plan in place, that when you think about it, if as I was asking you that, did that open up the database in your head? Every person that you're interacting with knows. The average person, experts say that the average person in North America knows over 2,000 people. Now, that doesn't mean they would invite him to their house for a birthday party or a religious event. It means that they know their dry cleaner. They know the person who gives them their bagel. They know the person at the park who lets them and the kids in at the park and checks their park sticker. It means that they know their family, friends, relatives, and neighbors, the people that they would invite to their home for a special occasion. But as I just said to you, as you just heard me saying this, do you know anyone who would be interested in insurance? Nothing about that question will open up any of the database that's in your head. It won't open up the people that you know from your son's karate school. It won't open up the database of the people that you know at your church. It won't open up the database of your people that you went to college with. It won't open up any database. Do you know anybody who needs insurance, that needs financial planning? Do you know anybody who's looking for a business? It's almost as if a big yellow sign comes up, like the one you see in your computer, that says "file not found," file not found. So if you give the profile of the person that you're looking for, and you explain perhaps the kind of person that you're looking for, either the profile of who they are or the pains or the issues that they are experiencing, it can tend to open up the database, and all of a sudden your prospect will say, oh, I know somebody exactly like that. Now, of course, if you're working in a particular niche, you noticed in my discussion before about my asking for a referral from Karen, who gave me a referral to Karen V, who gave me a referral to Greg A, who gave me a referral to Richard O. I was working a progressive line of people. This is why sometimes it's so great to, let's face it, birds of a feather flock together. So I've heard of salespeople that have told me they've built entire careers in selling to certain organizations or a certain niche market. I've heard of financial services professionals selling to policemen or to teachers and focusing on, I remember meeting a financial planning guy in the office at my son's school. I write about it in one of my books. And I met this guy, Lou, and I said, Lou, what are you here for? And he says, well, I'm here to meet with one of the teachers here at the school, actually with two of the teachers. I do a lot of financial planning for teachers to help them supplement and augment the pensions that they get in their school, their school career, because generally it's not enough to fund their retirement. And so I work with them on the extra, if you will, in augmenting their plans. And Lou had built a really nice niche of going from one teacher to the next, asking, if you ask a teacher, do you know any other teachers? That immediately opens up the database. So that is a one way, when I work with a relationship marketing company, I generally will, whenever I'm dealing with someone in a relationship marketing company, I'll ask for a referral and I'll give them the profile and I will say, let me tell you the kind of person I'm looking to meet. I'm looking for a person probably upline from you who makes $10,000 to $20,000 a month, has a lot of people in their organization or their downline, and typically holds big conference calls, big webinars, or even has big meetings where they bring speakers in and they do motivation and they do training. Is there somebody up the line from you that has a very high income, maybe what you would call a high promotion level or a high rank? Does that ring a bell to you? Is there somebody like that above you that has that kind of a profile? You've already heard me give the profile. That's exactly what I was doing when I was talking to Karen. Is I was giving Karen the profile. So one of the ways that you can do that is when you finish your presentation, is you can go right into it and you can say, listen, I just wanted to let you know that your referrals to people that you know would be greatly appreciated. And quite frankly, it's the way that I make my living is to be referred by people that either like me or trust me or are hoping that they're going to love my product or service, because you guys are new customers. But I wanted to give you an idea of the kind of people that you could refer me to. The kind of people that I'm looking for an introduction to are usually people that and then you give the profile, just as I gave the profile just now. Or you could say, the kind of people that I'm looking to be introduced to are people that perhaps are, let's look at a business opportunity. They are frustrated with the amount of money that they're making. They are constantly complaining or saying that they're in debt, or the price of things is price of gas, price of their mortgage, their rent is just eating them up. They can't seem to save any money. Or they might say something like, they just are literally looking for, they hate their job. They're looking for a new way to start a business or to make money or something of that nature. Does anybody that fits that profile, does that ring a bell for you? A good way to say that is, does that ring a bell, or does anybody come to mind when you think of people that are looking for more income, drowning in debt, or always complaining about not having enough money? And of course, somebody who's actually willing to do something about it. That's the kind of person that I wanted you to be aware of. That's the person I'm looking to meet in case that should ever come up for you. Now, at that point, what I would do is I would look to open the database in their mind, and I would look to say, and something that we used to do in the water business all the time is we kind of look out the window, or we would notice when we pulled up to the house what the rest of the neighborhood looked like. And we figured that there was absolutely a chance that they probably knew the neighbor to the left of them, the neighbor to the right of them, and maybe even the neighbor behind them or the neighbor across the street. Most people know their adjacent neighbors. And so our philosophy was we would say, listen, we know that you have well water here. Everybody has well water, probably very similar to yours. I'm looking I'm looking right now out of your back window, and I can see this brown house here over here to the left. What's the first names of the people that live in that house there? That should be a fairly direct answer. Oh, that's John and Julie. Great. Tell me about John and Julie. Do they have a well? Would they have a need for an alarm system? You probably don't know about their financial situation, but I'm sure that they are interested, like you, in saving money, making money. You just have to craft, what your profile is of the person. But you can open a database. If you're doing an in-home sale, you can open up the database immediately by asking about the four neighbors, the one behind you, the one across the street, the one on the left, and the one on the right. You can point to the house, or you can actually describe the house or describe the person, and get them to refer you to an actual location. Hey, I see that house over there. Who lives in that house? What's their name? What do they do? What do they do for a living? Great. Do you have their cell number handy? Can I mention your name when I call them? So on and so forth. I just wanted to give you an idea of the people that you could refer to me, or the people that I'm looking to get introduced to. These usually are people that, and I would usually give them I would probably focus in on the 3 pains or the 3 issues that they have. When we ask for a referral in the sales training business, we often say to the sales manager, we're looking for a sales manager or an owner of a company or a vice president just like yourself who has probably about $20 to $30 million a year in sales, has a sales force of somewhere between 10 and 20 people, and usually needs those salespeople to get in front of more prospects, is looking to close more deals, is looking for more business. Is there a business owner or a VP of sales that comes to mind? And so giving that description, that profile, is the lead-in to have the person then give you the referral, get the information. Why did you mention that person? Why would they be a good person to talk to? Would you be able to call them for me? Should I call them myself and mention your name? How would you like me to do that? So understand, and of course, in order to do this, you need to know who you're looking for. You need to have some very clear descriptions of the kind of people that you're looking for in order to open up the database. Remember, people think in they think in groups, they think in clumps, they think of if they go to access all 2,000 people in their head, they can't do that. If you focus them and you say, let's talk about the people that you know at church. Are you on any committees at church? Do you know any people? Let's talk about the people you know at work. Then it focuses someone, and then you can give them the profile of the person you're looking for, and then get a referral to one referral, two, or even 10 or 20, depending on how amiable that person is to giving you referrals.